All right, welcome back, guys. So a little late on getting this guide out, so I wanted to do a guide for Warpath as well as the tech chapter. So just going over the tech chapter in this video today. So this one was pretty straightforward. I think it's a lot easier than the science one just because of Enchantress. And she's like the third fight in there, but a lot of people are having a difficult time with that. So, but yeah, I'm just going to kind of break down this path, a little bit of a guide, going over each fight and who I used and, some good options for them. So this is the team right here that I used. If I could make any changes, I would probably just take out Yondu and put in Idum. But other than that, this team worked very, very well. So, um, what you want to do is you want to go in, so you're looking at your text for this, and then just add the tag here. All right, and then this will show you all the options that are going to be good for this quest. So, from what I've seen from other people, Howard the Duck, iDoom, Ironheart, I'm sure Vision, you could probably use Howard the Duck, Red Skull, Hulkbuster, Doc. All these are really solid options. Sentinel's in here, so if you have the 7-star Sentinel, that could be really good. So, a lot of options here. This is the team I use. Like I said, if I could just make any changes, I probably would have just used iDoom instead of Yondu. And I will go over why in just a second. So. This is the path. So there's a few tricky fights in here, of course. So the first one here is going to be Toad. So the way that this mission works or quest is basically they start off with a protection. As the fight goes on, the protection you know, ramps up, it gets, more potent, so they're taking less and less damage. And then you need to outlast the timer. So right there you'll see after 60 seconds, the defender's increased damage taken is by 100%, and your health is also restored to full. So you want to at least survive a minute, so that we can get the health restoration. And then after 120 seconds, the damage taken by the defender is increased to 200%. So it's just all about surviving long enough to really get to that point in the fight where the damage really just takes off. So not really anything else you need to know about any of these nodes here. So uh, what I used Mega Sentinel for Toad here. So just applying the heal block and then just making sure I stay away from the corner. That worked really, really well. Mega Sentinel also works very well here for Danny. You can apply the tracking and then you can avoid the miss mechanic. But other than that, there's not really much to that fight. Just bait the SP1, you'll be good to go. Emma, there's quite a few options for her. You could use Howard the Duck, Yondu, Rocket. Really all the techs that I have brought into this quest will work, but any that have an armor break, that's pretty much all you need there. And you don't even really need that, but it'd be nice to have. So I personally use Rocket, and then once I got to the end phase of the fight, his crits were just hitting for just a massive amount. Storm very, very straightforward. Just, got to deal with the glancing. But other than that, it's a very straightforward fight. I recommend just beating the SP1. Let's see. Sauron, I used Ultron. Again, same thing, just very vanilla fight. Just have to make sure you watch out for his unblockable attacks. The timer will pop up. Just make sure you kind of wait those out, unless you have a tech that can block unblockables. I probably actually could have messed around with that with Rocket, but yeah, I used Ultron and that was that. So now this fight here is one that I think a lot of people are kind of struggling with. So I do happen to have a rank 3 6200 Penny. She's incinerate immune, so I think Ultron should work pretty decent here. Penny worked really well for me, so any tech that has incinerate immunity should do okay. But I was able to get her down with Penny pretty easily. And I'm going to showcase that right at the end of this video. Havoc, just make sure you have an armor up. So, Mega Sentinel works, Ultron works. A lot of any tech, Red Skull, Hulkbuster, any tech with an armor up, so that'll work fine. This to me was the only fight in this whole quest, just for me personally, that gave me some hard time. So um, just with his concussion on the SP2, and then I was forgetting that you can't parry it, and then his SP1 doing degen on me. It was just really, really annoying. So this was the only fight that just kind of got to me. Um, I would say, I think I finished him off with Yondu, but of all my options here, I would say Omega Sentinel is the best. Just because you can apply the tracking and the heal block and then just control the fight from there. So, I think Howard the Duck will work really, really well here. So, just anybody that has quick access to heal block is going to be your best friend for that. So, Weapon X, pretty straightforward fight. He's still a tricky defender in his own right, so you just kind of have to worry about his base kit himself. So just once he starts going berserk, just make sure you get your intercepts off, stay aggressive. And then, like I said, anybody that has easy access to hill block, um, once you get further into the fight, uh, you'll be fine. So the main thing is just to keep up, your aggressive play style, continue to intercept, and then you'll get to that point in the fight where you can do your damage. So Dust, another very annoying defender for sure. I believe I used Penny for this one. Um, yeah, Penny was definitely who I use. But you can use a lot of different champs. Ultron should work fine. Mega Sentinel would work okay. Sentinel should be all right, I believe. So just don't hit into her block, and then you should be good there. So the main thing with Dust is that you don't want to hit into her block because that's how you'll start to get some damage, passive damage back there. So I do forget what the mechanic with that is called. I apologize, but yeah, you'll start taking damage back if you do that too much. So just watch out for hitting into the block. Now I mentioned at the beginning of this video that was my team, and the only change I would make is bringing iDoom for instead of Yondu. I handled this bishop fine. I believe I used Ultron for him. And Ultron's just kind of always been one of my go-to options for bishop. Um, I didn't really need Yondu, so I would say maybe instead of Yondu, I should have brought iDoom, and then if you bring iDoom, just use him for bishop and you'll be good. So not really much going on with that fight either. Just make sure you have an incinerate immune. I probably could have got away with using Penny as well. So, yeah, just bring in a center immune for that. And then Domino is just she's a very basic domino fight. You know, you just need a solid domino counter. So I ended up just reviving Ultron once, and then I believe I two-shot domino, or I don't remember if I got the one shot or not. But yeah, that it's just a domino fight. So and you're gonna already have a bunch of techs on your team, fully loaded. So yeah, that's pretty much it for domino. So the main fights I would say that you need to hard counter and bring somebody for. Is Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and then Havoc and Sinister. And then really, I would also say like Toad and Dust, but I believe, with all the text that you have here, you're gonna have counters to those. So I would say these three fights right here are what you need to make sure you have hard counters for. And as long as you can counter these three, you're going to be able to cover the rest of this map. So yeah, those are the champs that I use. Those were the strats that I used for these fights. Um, I'm going to showcase a couple videos, or at least one video just showing the NTW fight, because I think that's been the trickiest one for everybody. But yeah, I would say overall this was a pretty easy quest. The science one you have Enchantress there, so that's really, really annoying. This one was more straightforward, and probably the easiest of the two. I think it's well worth going for, but if you're wondering if you're a smaller account and you're kind of wondering if you should be doing this quest, um, I would say it depends on if you have at least a full five champ team of rank fives or better. So as long as you have at least five of those, I would say this is well worth it. Now, if it's your second account and you're highly skilled, that's different. But if you are still progressing, this could be a really solid way for you to get a rank five tech. But that's if you are still in the progression level of trying to build up, your rank five roster and you have mostly rank fours. Um, if they're ascended, then that might be all right. But I actually don't think that this quest is really worth draining all your units and your revives into over a 4 to 5 gem. Um, like I said, if you're trying to still kind of grow that part of your roster and you have at least five of them, then I think it's worth it. But if you don't have five, and you're having a hard time getting through some of these early fights, then I would say personally skip it, because it's gonna be a while before you're probably gonna be able to use those sig stones, and the only thing else that you're really getting out of this is a 4 to 5 tech gem. So it's just not that game breaking or anything. So if you're limited on your resources and you're still trying to build the roster up, I'm not so sure that this is really the best quest to do that. If you have a very specific tech in mind that you've been waiting forever to take up, then maybe make an exception for that. But for the most part, don't stress this event too much because it's essentially a 4 to 5 gem. All right, so anyway, that is my breakdown for this quest. And then I'm just going to showcase that NTW fight that I used with Penny. Um, but yeah, good luck on your runs if you haven't done them yet. And then just make sure you hard counter those 3 fights right there, and you should be good to go. All right, so I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.